No complaints.
This video is brought to you by Pixie Set. All right, so a lot of people asked me to do a video about how I photograph people within natural light settings. So I'll be photographing my wife and possibly our dog if he cooperates. I have a few techniques that I'll talk about and discuss, and these are staples for what I do to help ease my client or my subject's anxiety and what else would you call it? Nervousness?
Yeah.
Nervousness. I want to make people feel comfortable behind the camera always. That is the most essential thing you could possibly do. And these are some of the tips that help you do that, and some of the staples that I believe are very important whenever photographing an individual. All right, let's start. And actually, we have this really great light. You can't really see it, but there's smog all over the United States from the wildfires in Canada, and we're getting to breathe that in right now. But also, it puts this really cool haze over the sun, so it looks like an eclipse of some sort. Is that a rabbit? All right, so I call this the number 9 rule, and the reason is because I actually have 9 steps within one pose. So I'm gonna pose there really quick. Let's turn you this way towards the light. A lot of the times you want the subject to be faced towards the light because that's where the most flattering place is. All right, so I don't want you to stand with your feet together. So let's get a leg bent. I want you to kind of squat down a little bit like that. Let's get your hands in the thumbs in the pockets right there. Let's do left hand in the back pocket. Turn your body more towards the camera and then look back towards me right there. The reason I call this the number 9 rule is because I'll take 3 photos up close, and then I'll take 3 photos mid-length, and then 3 back a little bit further. And this doesn't always work with every lens. I would say a 35mm is probably the go-to for this technique, or a 50. I'm using a 28, so it may make Sarah's.
Step is to take the lens cap off.
Step number 1, take the lens cap off. All right, so I'm coming in for number 1 out of 9 here. I just want you to relax, straight face. Wow, don't fall. There we go, first one's going. 1, 2. Look out to your right a little bit, and just keep that for a second. So this is me up above her. Then I'm gonna come a little bit lower, almost to her eye level. And then of course, my favorite is to shoot up because it makes our subject seem a bit more powerful. Let me see the guns. Boom, there you go. So then I'll do a mid size shot here, and that looks really good. Why don't you actually grab your belt loops and just kind of pull them up a little bit like this, and then keep this leg up a little bit higher, like that right there. That's good, perfect. And just kind of look off a little bit. Follow my finger right there, and don't move from that. All right, so I'm gonna go up above you a little bit, eyes towards the lens, and then I'm gonna get down and chin down a little bit. There we go. And let's go with the left hand through the hair. Keep the right hand, but I feel like your thumb's not very relaxed. I want you to kind of relax it a little bit. There you go, just like that. That's great. One of the biggest things for me is movement. As you can see, she was going through her hair, and throwing your hands through your hair is great. If you have some, if you don't, you can still make that move too. It's just nice to see a little bit of movement. So I really do enjoy that. The next one will be another 3 shots from a little bit further back, and this will be the last 3 from this. Why don't you actually turn your body, which I say you do this with the same pose, but I'm just trying to alternate a little bit. Turn your body this way, and then look over your shoulder towards me. And let's get the leg wrapped around the other side, like that. I feel like we should use your left hand instead, and then just drop that one in the front a little bit further. Why don't you actually grab this belt loop with that hand? There we go. All right, now I'm gonna get a little bit lower. Look over your shoulder. And then one more just straight on. Relax your forehead. Perfect. So that is what I call the 9-step rule. So if you ever get stuck in a position where you can't get your model to do another pose, because we do get stuck sometimes as photographers, and one of the things to let them know that you're comfortable with what you're doing is you move so they don't have to, which I know kind of sounds strange. One of the things I like to do is to keep the model moving as much as possible. But for this instance, I just kind of wanted to show you one of my tricks. So we're gonna hop into another trick now, and that is to keep your model moving. The best thing for me to do is to talk the entire time, which I cannot stop doing. It makes me comfortable, and it probably makes her comfortable as well. So we're going to move along. So I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna model Sarah as I feel like I should. And one of the pieces of advice that I gave you earlier is that you need to keep them moving, and movement is great, especially if you have locks like this, you know what I mean? So we're actually gonna play with her hair for a second. When I say we, she, because you don't play with your model's hair unless they are married to you, all right? So first off, I want you to look towards this smog-filled sun, and let's just go through your hair, just like that. And why don't you get this hand and rest it here, just like that, and then lean forward towards me a little bit, and then turn your body like that, right there, good, that's great. All right, now let's kind of flick the hair a little bit, close the eyes, chin up. Let's go, maybe it's Maybelline. There you go. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna get low. All right, we're doing the 3, 2, 1 here essentially. So let's do the hair one more time. And why don't you sling it with your body like this? Just, yeah, you can drop the hand. Both hands, drop them both. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was cool. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm gonna get above you and try that one more time. This is not the 9, this is the 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. All right, so we've kept her moving the whole time throughout these few shots, which I think is really great. So awkward posing, this is things that you would not typically think of doing, and they're never the same. They just kind of come at you, and there's nothing you can do about it except photograph them. So let's do some, get over here. So awkward posing, here we go. We have a dog, so we might as well use that. All right, I want you to pull Loki into you. I want it to be like a serious photo though. Like that. So like you look so happy. Bring your eyes to my finger. And a lot of the times I'll ask the subject to bring their eyes to the finger because you don't want to see too much of the white. So if Sarah's face is pointed back in the direction they were, I see so much white here. And if I bring her to my fingers with her eyes, it looks a lot better in my opinion. So I did that a lot.
This video is brought to you by Pixieset. This is actually the gallery hosting software that I have used for several years. There's so many tools within it that you can actually customize and cater to your client's needs. You can also create websites through Pixieset, which are just incredible. One of the best features of this is the studio feature, where you can actually send invoices and contracts and get paid directly through Pixieset. Everything lies right there within one software. And this is one of my favorite parts, is that you can also have a print shop within every single gallery that you have. It's very easy to set up, and it's a really nice way to make passive income. I highly recommend that you use the link in the description below to get 250 megabytes of free storage on Pixieset. I just broke my microphone, so sorry. There you go. Yeah. And then chin up like that. Yes. Don't move. Up the knee, and then go between the legs here.
Sit.
I want you to look lazy. There you go. It's awkward posing time. Look towards the sun. Bring your eyes to the left a little. Now I'm gonna come over top of you. And I want you to look straight up towards me. I want you to go from down to up really fast. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean unintentionally there. All right, on 3, I'm gonna get you to kind of blow your hair up. 1, 2, 3.
Where am I look?
Me. Relax forehead. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so some people cannot get into positions, and that's okay, you just have to make it work. Sarah did exactly that whenever she kicked her leg over and brought up to the knee. And the great thing is that she was already on the ground, and that's well and fine. But I wanted to get over the top of her and shoot it down, so we had the same pose, 2 different angles. I couldn't get a 3rd angle because I can't get any lower than I already am. So 1, 2, 3 is always a good idea, but sometimes you only get 1, sometimes you get 2, and if you're lucky, you get 3 out of 1 pose, which is very powerful in my opinion, because it does show so many different variations of the pose that you are actually using, and it keeps the model engaged in the photo shoot, which I think is very, very important. It was just brought to my attention by Sarah that one of my favorite poses to do is to have, if you're photographing a female or a male with longer hair, to pull their hair back like a ponytail kind of. So let's do that. So I'm gonna take this 2 different ways. So one's gonna be front lit, or side lit, technically speaking, and the other's gonna be the exact opposite, so we'll get a silhouette of this. I usually silhouette this shot, but it's really nice to have 2 different flavors, and that's where we're gonna try it. There you go. Try that.
Straight then?
Just like that.
Eyes open or closed?
Keep them open. Let's get this hand just up here towards your neck, so we can just fill that space up a little bit. There you go. Maybe the pinky towards the ear. I don't recommend touching your models while you're doing this. I can do this. I'm actually gonna take one straight on as well. Straight towards the camera. Let's turn your body some. I want some more sun on you. Some more smog. That's good. Look out to your right one time. But bring your eyes here. Great. One more. 1, 2. All right, now keep what you have. And this is where we're gonna do the silhouette. Same pose. Drop this arm down some. There we go. Down some more. You can keep the chin up and drop the arm some. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's great. Don't open up. Chin up. Drop the other hand. All right, now I just want you to hold your right hand just kind of up with your hair and just drop it down. I just don't want the arm in my silhouette. That's the thing I'm trying to do. Look to your right. There you go. Look to your left a little. On 3, 1, 2.
Drop and move my hand all the way down really fast?
Nope. Just drop it. 1, 2, 3. All right, try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Awesome. So that is 2 shots, possibly 4 or 5 actually, in one single idea of a pose of an action. That looks crazy. That's weird. I wonder if I can get that. That's what the sun looks like right now. And it doesn't really, you can't really catch it on video, but it's so, I mean, that's the sun and it's not bright. It's so weird. Pokey pokey. Lokerson Pokerson. Hey there. We're gonna end on a slow exposure because those are some of my favorites. I know everybody loves movement and I feel like that's really a trend right now, so we're gonna do that. Come on. I'm at around F13 and my shutter speed is 1/10 of a second. All right, so I want you to look straight at the camera and then move your head as fast as you can, but keep your eyes kind of locked forward. Okay, go ahead, 1, 2, 3. All right, this time I want you just to do this. All right, I want you to shake your head when you jump. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah, there you go. Go, 1, 2, 3. All right, I want you to kind of move your arms a little bit too. Like kind of go like that, like with one way.
A hula dance?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. One more piece of advice that I want to share with you is that subframing is really handy whenever you have a poor pose. I think that it really encourages the viewer to see it in a different light. I would make sure your model is lit decently and then stick them in a situation where they're between something, and then you have a frame within a frame, which I use this technique quite often, if it's a good pose or a bad pose, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But the number 9 rule, I think, is just a staple for me, especially if I get uncomfortable with the posing that I'm using, because we all get stuck, and I think it's really important. So you can use the number 9 rule, or you can use the 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 rule, where you do top, middle, bottom, because it shows your subject in different lights. And I think that's really, really important whenever it comes to photography, because whenever you're going through, you can decide on which one that you like instead of shooting straight on every single photo, which there's a time and place for that. And I believe that some people can really, really knock that out, but I cannot. I'm more of a different angle kind of guy. So I really hope that these tips helped you. And yeah, if there's anything else you want to know about, please leave them in the comments below, because I am just trying to make more educational videos. All right. My camera's dying, my mic's ripped. So yeah, that's what I got right now. Thanks, babe, for videoing. I love you.
Let me see.
Thanks, Loki, for participating.
Please take a picture.